Oh, yeah, it works. Okay, we got it. Yeah. Yes, thank you. Hello. Hi. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome. Let's go ahead and get started. My name is Gina Kim, and I'm faculty here in Smith in English and the study of women, gender, and sexuality. It's my pleasure to welcome you to tonight's event, Homie, on Queer of Color Friendship, a reading with Danez Smith and conversation with Franny Choi, costume contest and prizes to follow. This event is sponsored by the Program for the Study of Women, Gender, and Sexuality and has many, many co-sponsors here at Smith and across the 5 colleges, so just bear with me as I read this list. Thank you to the Smith College Lecture Committee, the Office of Equity and Inclusion, the English Department, American Studies, Africana Studies, the Human Rights Initiative, the Accessibility Resource Center, the Boutel Day Poetry Center, Meridians, WGSS at UMass, the Asian American Feminism Series at UMass, the Amherst English Department, the Mount Holyoke Department of Critical Race and Political Economy, the 5 College Queer, Trans, and Sexuality Studies Certificate, and the 5 College Lecture Fund. A special thanks goes out to the wonderful Lorraine Hedger, who helped organize logistics, Tom Clydas in the back, who's in charge of the live stream, and Jen Blackburn of the Boutel Day Poetry Center. Tonight we're going to enjoy a reading by acclaimed poet Danez Smith, who will read selections from their 2020 collection Homie and also their new book, Bluff. Copies of these books are available just outside the auditorium. And Smith will be in conversation with their close friend and former podcast co-host Franny Choi, whose books are also available just outside the auditorium. And Franny just so happens to be another celebrated poet. The uniting theme of the night is queer of color friendship and love, perhaps more broadly. Why we need it now more than ever, and how it impacts the art of these poets as well as our everyday lives. After the reading and conversation, we will have a costume contest with 3 categories. There are prizes as promised. So there will be best costume overall, which the 3 of us will select. People's choice, which will be selected by the audience based on volume of cheers, okay? And then second best group costume, because we have the best group costume, okay, so I'm gonna introduce our poets and then we can get started. So Danez and Franny, as I mentioned, are close friends who have worked together as members of the Dark Noise Collective, and were co-hosts of the official Poetry Foundation podcast, Versus. Franny Choi is a poet and essayist. Their books include The World Keeps Ending and The World Goes On, a finalist for the Kingsley Tufts Poetry Award, Soft Science, and Floating Brilliant Gone. Franny's writing has appeared in the New York Times, The Atlantic, the Paris Review, and elsewhere. Franny is the current Poet Laureate of Northampton. Really? Yes. And the founder. That's so cool. It's really cool. It's really cool. And the founder of Brew and Forge. Franny has 2 books forthcoming. Oh wait, one is already out. So one is the anthology, We the Gathered Heat, Asian American and Pacific Islander poetry performance and spoken word. But also forthcoming is a collection of essays about robots. Franny is faculty in literature at Bennington College. Danez Smith is the author of now 4 collections, including Homie, Don't Call Us Dead, and most recently Bluff. They have won the Forward Prize for Best Collection, the Minnesota Book Award in Poetry, the Lambda Literary Award for Gay Poetry, the Kate Tufts Discovery Award, and have been a finalist for the NAACP Image Award in Poetry, the National Book Critics Circle Award, and the National Book Award. Danez's poetry and prose have been featured in Vanity Fair, The New York Times, The New Yorker, GQ, Best American Poetry, and on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Danez is a member of the Dark Noise Collective, former co-host of the Webby-nominated podcast Versus. They are the recipient of fellowships from the Poetry Foundation, Princeton, United States Artists, the McKnight Foundation, the Montalvo Arts Center, Cave Canem, and the National Endowment for the Arts. Danez has been featured as part of Forbes' annual 30 Under 30 list and is the winner of a Pushcart Prize. They live in Minneapolis near their people. Everyone, please join me in welcoming Danez Smith to the stage.
Thank you to my beloved sister Blossom for the introductions. Danez Smith couldn't make it tonight. I am Bubbles. Oh wait, can you hand me the thing? My cat. Remember she liked animals, you know? So we have that, and then we have this kitty on the back. A fun, I own a lot of this. Goodwill came through with the skirt. I bought one of the same ones as them, and I forgot that I'm not an extra large in gender terms for Powerpuff Girls. And that thing fit like a tube dress. And so we made this happen. I did, thank you. I feel like making a Halloween costume happen in the middle of tour deserves to be applauded. Excuse me. Hello, everybody. Hello. Hi. Thank you. Oh God. Okay, I'm gonna take this thing off. I can. Yeah. Oh, woo! Jesus, I was so excited to read as a blonde. I've done it once before in my life in the midst of a college breakdown. Everybody does that. You dye your hair blonde for a week, and then cry to your mom a little bit, and she's just shut the fuck up and go graduate. And yeah, go do it. Okay. So I'm gonna read today from Homie, my previous book, which thinks a lot about friendship and all that, and then I'll read from Bluff, which I think is so much about love, and it's interesting that some of the reviews and stuff haven't quite caught that yet. But I hope to pull on some of those threads. And there's a lot of poems in these two books that talk to each other. There's a lot of poems in this book that talk to each other. So I might switch back and forth if ever I come to a poem that has an echo in the other collection. Okay. Other things we need. If you've never been to a poetry performance before, particularly one with somebody like moi, who comes from the tradition of spoken word, this is a call and response type situation, right? So if you sit there dead quiet and staring at me the entire time, I'm gonna cry and then tell everybody that I went to Smith and they were really mean to me. So just to keep your rep good in the streets, it's best that we have a little exchange, right? So the more energy you give me, the more energy I'm inclined to give back, right? So that means you can snap if you like a poem. Let's everybody try some snapping if you can. Okay, let's try some light clapping. Yes. Let's try some heavy clapping. Oh, ooh, okay. Let's give me a like you just tasted good shashuka. Yes, have to get that flavor in your mouth. What else can you do? You can wow, give me a wow. And then you can do whatever, snap, crackle, pop, jump, slap your neighbor with consent, whatever you want to do. However you celebrate in your row. Okay, let's start from the beginning of Homie. Hate this poem. Wrote a poem about how I hate it in the next book we'll read. I don't hate it. I think it's a lovely poem, but I think part of wanting a better future is imagining outside of the structures and the language of power that currently strain us, right? So this poem, it's funny, I was reading this one like on the eve of an election. It was after Barack had just finished being the president, and so Trump was. And people on the internet were being like, that's not my president, like, that's my president, talking about Barack, or like, they would just like have like a really good Rice Krispie and say like, that's my president, And I was like, I love that. And so I made a poem out of it. And I think I like the poem. My beef with it is that it holds president as like this glory. And what happens if we did away with that thought? I'll read another poem about it after, okay? This poem is called My President. Today, I elect Jonathan, 11 and already making roads out of water. Young genius, blog writer, little community activist, curls tight as pinky swears, black as our nation. I trust the world in his tender, blooming hands. I trust him to tell us which rivers are safe to drink and which hold fish like a promise. And I elect Eve Ewing, who I know would misfrizzle the country into one big classroom where grandmas finger paint the national budget and uncles stand around smoking blacks, plotting on stars for our escape. She could walk to the podium at her inauguration and say, the future is now. And we'd all marvel at the sun and moon looping the sky like a GIF. It's pronounced GIF, as the cars all learn to fly and our skin grew bulletproof. And Colin Kaepernick is my president, who kneels on the air, bent toward a branch, throwing apples down to the children and vets. And Rihanna is my president, walking out of global summits with a wine glass still in hand, our taxes returned in gold to dust our faces into coins. And my mama is my president, her grace stunts on amazing brown hands, breaking brown bread over the mouths of the sick until there are none unfed. And my grandma is my president, and her cabinet is her cabinet, because she knows to trust what the skillet knows, how the pan could win the war. And the man I saw high-kicking his way down the river, he is my president. And the trans girl making songs in her closet, spinning the dark into a booming dress, she too is my president. And Shonda Rhimes is my president, and Nate Marshall is my president, and Trina is my president, and the boys outside Walgreens selling candy for a possibly fictional basketball team, they are my presidents. And the bus driver who stops after you yell, wait, only twice is my prez. And dude at the pizza spot who will give you a free slice if you're down to wait for him to finish the day's fourth prayer is my president. And my auntie, only a few months clean, but clean. She is my president. And my neighbor who holds the door open when my arms are full of laundry is my president. And every head nod is my president. And every child singing summer with a red sweet tongue is my president. And the birds and the cooks and the single moms especially, and the weed dealers and the teachers and the meter maid who lets you slide, and the cab drivers who stop, and the nurses' swollen feet, and the braiders' exhausted hands, and the bartender, and Beyonce, and all her kids, and the rabbi, and the sad girls, and the leather daddy who always stops to say, good morning. I feel like so many of that man live here. And the boy crying on the train, and the sudden abuela who rubs his back, and the uncle who offers him water, and the drag queen who begins to hum, oh, my presidents, my presidents, my presidents, my presidents. Show me to our nation. My only border is my body. I sing your names, your names, my mighty anthem. Cool. All right. Well, thank you, Smith. I appreciate it. It always feels like I'm coming to, like, I don't know, like into my reparations when I read here. I don't know. I'm like, damn right, I'm reading at Smith. It's mine. Give it to me. LOL. Okay. I do think that if reparations ever happens, they should just give me and my grandma Smith. We will steward it well. We would love this place. Okay. Is it probably the same Smiths? There are a lot of Smiths. But did this Smith own slaves? Probably. Do y'all know a lot about the names? Do they make you learn that in like a freshman class sometime? Is it like a presentation that some like sophomore getting paid too little money gives you the summer before? Okay. We should investigate this. Okay. That's for later. Here's a poem about that poem, kinda. It's called Last Black American Poem. Voted for the Negro twice. Twice my captor wore my face. Admit it, Danez, you loved your master in your shade. Yes, I loved knowing the color at the end of my chain matched mine. Wrong river. It wasn't chains, it was water when one of us helmed the boat. Water for our eyes, water raised to the lips of cargo. Still cargo. In summer, we turned down that Jeezy, learning a new one's slain name. The helm, and still, the boat, still headed to Carolina shores. My president was black when mothers got millions in exchange for sons. Michelle's perm was perfect as bombs dropped in the middle of childhoods. We buried my grandpa with an Obama button pinned to his lapel. Finally free, we sent him to heaven, American. When he won, we sprinted Bascom Hill and danced like happy slaves at Lincoln's feet. We were happy-ass slaves, happy to vote, happy to protest the killing we couldn't end, happy for health care that killed us slower, happy the gays could marry in the country where trans women vanished like snow in warm winters, happy our wars were only of the mind, only elsewhere. Forgive me. I wrote odes to presidents. Oh, okay. All right. Cool. Oh, let's do this one. This is a Halloween poem in a way. It is about people looking like things. Cool. Yeah. All right, yeah, let's jump back into Homie. This is called, also, oh my God, my thighs are touching, and it's so hot. Wow, I thought it was supposed to be cooling. Like, Jesus, this is uncomfortable. How did the people do this? I need a garment, and then like, is this where you put the powder? You know what I mean? Okay, I need the powder. I'm not a proper woman. Okay. Today. I need to be a lady in the way of my ancestors. They would have the powder. I'm sorry, Grandma. Okay. God damn, it's hot. All right, this is called How Many of Us Have Them? Or it should be sung, how many of us have them? Friends, if I may interrupt right quick, I know y'all busy working, busy smoking, and busy trying to not, busy with the kids and moms and busy with alone, but I have just seen two boys, yes, black, on bikes, also black, in their basketball shorts and they outside shoes, wild, laughing about something I couldn't hear above my own holler trying to steady the wheel and not hit they little asses as they swerved. Friend drunk, making their little loops, sun lotion faces screwed up with that first and cleanest love we forget to name as such, and hear me out. I'm not trying to diss little dude, but in this golden hour, he kind of looked like Francine off Arthur, you know, same monkey mouth and all old, and I say, hey, looking ass boy, though, in a beautiful way, the best beautiful, the same as I know all of us have looked like something off when washed off love, oh, loves. Y'all ugly asses have crowned me the worst names. Wayne Brady, gay Wiz Khalifa, all kinds of bitches and fags, though only with my bitches and fags, and once the mark of Buddha, that year acne scored my forehead with its bumpy faith. Oh, my niggas and my niggas who are not niggas. I've been almost pissed myself, almost been boxing, been tears and snot off your dozen wonders, been the giddy swine dancing the flame. Oh, my many hearts, y'all booty face, weird ass, old mojo, jojo head asses, oh my God, dusty chambers where my living dwells. Roast me, name me in the old ways, your shit talk, a river I wade, howling until it takes me. I can't stop laughing. More river wades down my throat. This could be drowning, could be becoming the water, could be a baptism from the inside out. Don't save me. I don't want to be saved. I've been died laughing before, been seen God's face, and you have her teeth, my nig. But hers ain't as yellow as them saffron ships you keep stashed in that glory foul mouth. My friend, my friends, my niggas, my wives, I got a crush on each one of your dumb faces, smashing into my heart like idiot cardinals into glass. But I am a big ass glass bird, a stupid monster crashing through the window and becoming it just to make you laugh. Andrew used to say, friendship is so friendship. And ain't it? Even after Andrew gave it on over to whatever, he was still my nigga. When they turned his body to dust, he was still my dusty ass boy. Don't you hear it? The dust on the fan calls me a bum, says my hairline looks like it's thinking about retirement. The dust in the car say I look like a chubby slave, says I look too drunk, takes my keys, drives me home. The wind is tangled with the dust of the dead homies, carrying us over to them, giggling in the mirror, hear them. Hear your long gone girl tease your hair on the bus. Hear them rolling when you sweep the broom across the beaten floor. I miss them. All the dead. How young. How silly to miss what you will become. I apologize. Sometimes it just catches up in me. Love and ghosts get caught in us like wind and birds trapped in a sheet just the same. And my friends, yes, my friends, they are some birds. They are some chicken head motherfuckers who I would legit stomp a nigga out for. Do you feel me? When they buried my nigga, I put on my Timbs, walked into that hot August and tried to beat his name out the dirt. I beat the earth like a nigga. I threw hands at the earth like a punk motherfucker. And the ground just chuckled. Said, my nigga, what is you doing? You can't hear the wind drunk off your kindred lint? Can't you hear the great roll from way off like a big nigga laughing in the alley? How your dead auntie laughs when she sees that you still ain't grew into that big ass head? How your real friend will laugh when he sees that you are still the same ugly as yesterday, the same ugly as always, the same ugly as his last life. Cool. Cool. All right, this poem is about fighting. It's about getting jumped and then, about jumping somebody else and then getting jumped. Karma. All right, cool. It's called Jumped. 1. There on the ground, like dirt or a bird, December froze and May thawed, blood misted, crying for any mother. The boy who called your mama a bitch bleeds our love for you. His wings frozen in fighting our gust of sneakers. We storm him because we love you, and your mama has fed us, and only us is allowed to call her out her name because we know her name, Mrs. Phyllis, and she bad, and only we allowed to say so. And when we bad, she has permission from our mamas to beat us like we hers like you hers. You our boy. We pool our punches into the boy like quarters for a bag of flamin' hots. We make him look like a bag of flamin' hots. Lord, forgive me, but I don't regret it. And on the real, all these summers later, I miss it. I wish a little bit to gather around a man and stomp in the name of love. Beat what he said about my next of blood back into his glee yellow mouth to make his mouth a sparkling smashed tomato. Really though, Leland, you remember how we beat old boy? Our middle school ritual, his 32nd eternity. Later, I licked his blood off my Nikes and dreamed we were water lilies holding the water down. 2. That was beautiful. 2. Thank you. I'm like, bitch, you kind of did that. Ain't read that one in a while. That is a wild turn. Very Morgan Parker. Okay, girl. 2. They were around me like nigga 1, nigga 2, nigga 3, me, nigga 4, nigga 5, nigga 6, nigga 7, nigga 8. And I felt safe. What could be safer than a circle of boys too afraid of killing you to kill you? The fist that broke my ribs also wanted me to live. I praise each one true God for each foot that wasn't a sharp anything, each hand laid upon me like a rude and starving prayer. I had always wanted 8 niggas on me, but not like that. After a while, I started to like it. I leaned in, unblocked my face. The bottoms of their shoes were the sweet of a well-chewed eraser. I was their promise, their ink. You should have heard them laugh, a language so delicious I cracked up, cracked grin and all. I didn't know a thing about love until those boys walked away so happy. My heart pouring from my nose. Cool. Okay. Let's see. Friendship, stuff like that. There's some friendship in here, but that's too long. Oh, this one. Okay, this is for Human Win. Also a good Halloween poem. This poem is about putting on makeup and trying to be drag queens. It's called My Bitch, after Nicole Seeley and for Human Win. Oh, bitch, my good bitch, bitch, my heart, dream bitch, bitch, my salve, bitch, my order, bitch, my willowed stream, bitch, my legend, bitch, like a door. Your name means open in the language of my getting by, bitch, sesame. Let's get together and paint our faces the color of our mothers if our mothers were sad men, only soft in bad lights. Let's swirl these deep grape and coffee pencils until we look like odd planets on our way to looking like the daughters we secretly were. Caked in cakes hairy, just short of grace, we look terrible when we're the most beautiful girls in the world. Bitch, my world. Bitch, my brother, bitch, my rich trust. I'll miss you most when they kill us. Let's do. Okay, cool. I'm gonna do like 10 to 12 more minutes of poems. Let's do a poem with Franny in it. There's a lot of poems with Franny in it. Okay, which one? Let's do this one. This one's fun. It's about hell, and this is like, you know, the Christmas of hell as a holiday. You know, ding dong, the ghosts are born. You know, we offer over our ancestors once again to the other side. Okay, anyways, something creepy. All right. Yeah, this is it's a perfect sonnet that I then chopped and screwed, which took different meanings as this came through. It borrows its title from a Curtis Mayfield song, which is "Don't worry, if there's a hell below, we're all going to go." Excuse me, let me get my chopped and screwed voice on. Okay, there we go. Amongst the trillions who singe, who singe, who singe, who singe, the trillions who sin, who sing, who singe, who singe, the trillions who singe, who singe, who singe, who singe, amongst the trillions who singe, who singe, who singe, amongst the trillions who singe, but don't burn, or are we sectioned off by our loudest sin, or do the sum, or by the sum, or do borders resist? Do I get to see Franny again? Do I get to see Franny again? Down, 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 down there. Second earth, proof of the too high, not even our mothers made it. Ain't prayed hard enough. If there's a hell, we all end up. The devil's abundance. You not good, you not good. I never been shit. Casually wicked, that's how, casually wicked, a citizen. That's how evil I be. A zit of sin, that's how measle I be. Feel me? I voted, I agreed. I voted, I agreed. I voted, I decreed. I agreed to the kill. I'm full grown, taxes paid. I built the bomb. I bloomed the cancer field under the hood. I killed me, ma. I apologize where we get down to where she prayed the murder of me, my God. Cool. There's another one with Franny in it, but I can't get my phone to upload because we're in the basement. But if you buy the book, or even if you don't, if you have a friend who has the book, if you go to the library, if you just pick it up outside and walk away with it and don't turn back when they're calling your name to come back and pay, there's a QR, or if you just pick it up for a second and put it back down, there's a QR code in here that like leads to like a free chat book full of like poems that didn't quite make the book. And one of them is a poem about how when the city council announced that there was like a resolution with the intention of like getting rid of the police. Of course that didn't happen. But for a second it was true, and I was very emotional, and I called Franny and cried. Because who else would I call if there was an abolitionist future? But Franny. Okay. Let's see. A couple more poems. Let's do this one. Is it Halloween-y? Maybe. Is there something about costumes in here? I don't know. There's about colors and dressing up. Yeah, that works. So I went to a wedding, and the night before the wedding, the groom's sister said something absolutely ridiculous and also life-changing at the bar. So I wrote a poem about it. Colorado Springs. She's crying for all of us, her brother, son, me, everyone's someone's boy. Before the wedding, henny wrecked, loved whelmed, meaning well. So much, she says, black boys go through these days. Gay, transgender, gang banging. I know what she means. I try to not be criminalized. I know she doesn't see us as crimes, maybe sins, but sense to her. Since I know my own mother, I know she means the bodies we didn't think our sons would lay down, the men we never imagined would seek our sons in the night, our boys dressed in those colors, monochrome and prism strained, flagging what we hoped wouldn't find them. I know. When I pressed my purple stone to my mother's breast, what flooded her wasn't disgust, but sickness, knowing what violences might rush her once blue babe, now cut to pink meat, red as honesty, those blood-ill premonitions, love, their own bodies, other boys, all mothers know anything can hunt a son, a fear so animal language cannot tame nor reason. Later, still before the wedding, in the woods at the mountain's feet, my lover points to a mushroom that looks like a coin. It do. Earthy currency, a metal soft and chewable, fragile platinum. Even if I was Mother Earth, I wouldn't expect this wild change. Fleshy and star bright steel bloom, I wouldn't know it grew like this too. Dirt rising into armor. She didn't know we grow up fine. My mother loves her purple child deeper and truer, even though what she feared would scar me left its mark. I know she meant well. I know love shoots beyond language or sense. Mothers, if we make it through it all. Love, find our sons. Body, hold our babies well. Free them from all cages, even if it's what we name them. Violence, don't lust after our babies and call it kin. If you must, find our boys in the midst of their lives. Leave a wound we can dress. And may we not be the scars they stitch, lonely in the mother gone dark. Cool. Cool. All right, 2 more poems. One more like saddy sad, and then like a little happy happy. Okay, cool. Normally when I used to do this poem, I used to say like, who here has a relative that you really love, that you also, life would be a little bit easier if they died, and then all the queer people will go, woo! Very good way to start a GSA in your community. Okay, cool. So this poem is called Waiting on You to Die So I Can Be Myself. I did this. My grandma, like a couple years after this poem came out, asked me like, you want me to die? And I was like, no, lady, like I take you to your doctor's appointments. I just think that when I wrote this poem, a part of you had to die so we could actually have a relationship. So take that with you, young queers. You know. She got it together. 1,000 years of daughters, then me. What else could I have learned to be? Girl after giving herself to herself, one long ring shout name, a monarchy of copper and cold shoulders. The body too is a garment. I learned this best from the snake undulating out of her pork rind dress. I crawl out of myself into myself, take refuge where I flee. Once I snatched out my heart like a track and found not a heart, but 2 girls forever playing slide on a porch in my chest. Who knows how they keep time? They could be a single girl, doubled and joined at the hands. I'm stalling. I want to say something without saying it, but there's no time. I'm waiting for a few folks I love dearly to die so I can be myself. Please, don't make me say who. Bitch, the garments I'd buy if my baby wasn't alive. If they woke up at their wake, they might not recognize that woman in the front making all that noise. Oh. Two more poems. Because it's not really, unless you like do this to the sky. Did you really do a poetry reading? Cool. This poem is about trees. It's called Trees. Y'all! They look like slow green explosions. Thick as the best fro in the click. A click of them, a whole hood of soft jade. Stadium of limes, how they look, gathered at the roots and at the leaves. Oh, I'm a little bit beside myself, driving through Mississippi with Tish, who is indeed a part of myself. She say, I wish I could take a picture of all this green, but it's raining, so we can't step out to photograph these perfect emerald lungs, these giant and ancient niggas. They must be niggas, right? How brown and giving they are, their fruit cousin to our hands, their flowers, our songs. I wonder if I went like a year without lotion, if my skin would dry into bark and my naps would drink the day as my toes kinked with thirst. Do you think that's how trees were invented? A bunch of niggas stood still in a field waiting for a sign from older gods, their breath a prayer until breath was their only action. Oh, if I could be a tree, I'd know God is real. If I could be a tree, there'd be a heart knifed into me that read, I heart all my niggas. Oh, if I could stand still in a field with Tish and Blair and Josh and Jamila and Cam and Aaron and Nate and Angel and Morgan and Brittany and Kelsey and Krista and Deallen and Camilla and Dorian and Tahira and Nabila and Safia and Courtney and Jason and Philip and Lamar and Hanif and Eve and Chris and Dom and Saeed and Brandon and Amber and Adora and Brittany and Shanaka and James and Leland and DeVray and D'Angelo and all the niggas whose names burst my heart to joyful smithereens with their bright seeds. I would be the happiest tree. I'd let all the birds live in me. Glad to breathe in my constellation of green budding stars. Oh my God, of Negroes and foliage, roots and roots and roots. Here we are, black and ashy and filtering air, ready to be the forest, deliver us into an axeless world. Sweet mother of chlorophyll and melanin, branch and braid, dogwood and all my dogs. We stand waiting to be made evergreen. We see your promise in the noon star. Hear your word in the rain. Cool. All right. For the last poem, just because it feels appropriate. Bubbles would like to take the chance to dedicate this next poem to my fellow Powerpuff Girls and to the Powerpuff Girl in you. To the Powerpuff Girls and the Powerpuff Boys and the Powerpuff Thems. And even those who aren't young at heart, the Powerpuff women and men in the room. The Powerpuff elders. The Powerpuff ancestors who are here with us. Be the Powerpuff you want to see in the world. Okay. What an iconic group, though. Like, you know, like, I can't say enough about them. Okay, this poem is called Acknowledgements. Oh, wow, wigs hurt. Is that the wig or did I just scream a lot? Okay, cool. We're going to hope I'm not, like, having a stroke. So, yeah, this is called Acknowledgements. It's about my friends. It's about your friends. If you commented on a Facebook post in like 2016, literally, you might be in here. What else do you need to know about this poem? It's a good poem if you're here with a friend to like touch their hand ever so slightly, or like maybe like lean your knee into their knee, or like just like, you know, cup a hand, whatever kind of connection you want. But it's a good friend poem. Don't be scared, love your friends. All right, anything else? I'm gonna say one after each one of these little sections, which is a technique I'm stealing from South African poet Thuli Zuma. Shout out to her, she's fantastic. But I tried to count before when I would read this poem, and poets don't know how to count. So you, especially if you don't write it down, you just end up on 13 for like 3 numbers, and you know, but 1 is something I can remember. 1. You saved me half a bag of skins. The hard parts, my fave, dusted orange with hot. 1, you say we can't go to the bar because you're taking your braids out. I come over, we watch Medea while we pull you from you. 1, you make us tacos with the shells I like and you don't. 1, I get too drunk at a party, you scoop my pizza from the sink with a Solo cup. All that red. 1, you in the morning, bong water grin, wet chin. 1, you in the lawless dark, laughing like a room of women laugh at a man who thinks his knowledge is knowledge. 1, I text you, man, you know you've been there. 1, I text you and you say, I was about to text you, bitch. 1. You cook pork chops the same way I do. Our families in another city go to the same church. 1, you rolling a blunt, holding your son is a Mecca. 1, you invite me out for drag queens the night I think to finally. 1, you pull over in Mississippi so I can walk a road my grandfather bled on. 1, you gave me a stone turtle. It held your palm scent for a week. 1, I call your mama, mama. 1, you request like a demand, make me some of that mango cornbread, and I cut the fruit, measure the honey. 1, you and you and you and you go in on a dildo for my birthday. You name it Drake. That didn't age well, you know. You know me. Just to be clear, we don't stand Drake. No, it's done. He's weird. Okay. 1, a year with you in that dirty house with that cracked out cat was a good year. 1, at the function, I feel myself splitting into too many rooms of static. You touch my hand, and there I am. 1, do you want to be best friends? A box for yes, a box for maybe yes. 1, did our grandmothers flee the fields of embers so we could find each other here? Friend, you are the war's gentle consequence. 1, I am the prison that turns to rain in your hands. 1, you at my door the night my father leapt beyond what we know. 1, the branches of silence stay heavy with your petal. 1, you smell like the milk of whatever beast I am. 1, your poop is news. Your fart is news. Your gross body, my favorite bop. 1, you drunk as an uncle making all kinds of nonsense sense. I fluent the language between your words. 1, and when we fight, not a ring, but a room with no exit. We spill the blood and bandage the wound, clean the cuts with tongues. 1, if luck calls your name, we split the pot. If you, oh, that's a lot of spit in my mouth. Hold on one second. That is gross. If luck calls your name, we split the pot. If you wither, surely I rot. 1, we hate the same people. Say nigga please with the same mouth. 1, and before we were messy flesh, I'm sure we were the same dust. 1, everywhere you are is a church, and I am the pastor, the deacons, the mothers fainting at the altar. 1, as long as I am a fact to you, death can do with me what she wants. 1, my body, water. Your body, a trail of hands, carrying the river to the sea. One, I ink your name into my chest to fasten when it's already there. One, you made coming out, coming in from the storm. One, I would love you even if you killed God. One, you are the country I bloody hills for. One, you love me despite the history of my hands, their mangled confession. One, God bless you who screens my nudes, drafts my breakup texts. One, you are the drug that knocks the birds from my heart. One, oh, the horrid friends that were just ships harboring me to you. One. And how many times have you loved me without my asking? How often have I loved a thing because you loved it, including me? One, with your ugly ass. One, at the end of the world, let there be you. One, my world. Thank you. Thank you. Please welcome Blossom and Buttercup, otherwise known as Gina and Franny, to the stage. We had the monkey, we had that restorative justice moment in our teams for all the times we beat his ass for no problem. They were really violent towards that monkey.
They really were. Yeah.
Check. They were called the whoop-ass girls? Is that serious? Oh my God.
Oh, I love it.
They did whoop his ass. Granted, sometimes, Mojo Jojo deserved it. He would, try to, kill humanity or something. But sometimes he would just be, having tea. And then
we're not having it.
Yeah, and then these, ravenous second graders showed up and were like, we have superpowers, you're just a smart monkey, and we're going to whoop your ass. God damn, they were racist. Just a little bit.
Yes.
Okay. What?
We're in costume as them currently.
And I want to take accountability
That's y'all. That's y'all.
for the crimes of my foremothers.
True.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, This is like a president apologizing for what they did in the 1800s, I'm sorry for all the monkey ass whooping we did when we were on TV. Okay, let's
have a panel.
Yeah, sorry.
Technically, I would say that your wig is on backwards, but I kind of love it, and I
love it.
kind of like because then you.
This
don't
is
have
not
the
a
bangs.
Dreamgirls turn the wigs around moment. No. Oh wait,
But you
I
know what
see.
mean? Yeah, it's kind of. I kind of like it. I think it's kind of giving.
Is it a little bit too Swedish when I do it like that though?
I don't think it's Swedish enough.
Because now I feel like I should be singing ABBA,
I didn't know that was
Voulez-vous? Okay. Or it's kind of I feel is it Wendy? But her blonde sister?
Wendy, Wendy of Wendy's?
Of Wendy's.
Of Wendy's.
This feels like her pigtails.
It's all of that. It's all of that.
Okay.
And also, most importantly, you don't have the little bangs so that they don't get in your face.
I know, this is, okay, sorry, we're gonna talk about the things we said we would talk about.
I don't know.
This was
It's not,
better.
there's no guarantee.
Okay. Ask a question, Gina.
Yes.
I will ask a question. Okay. So
There was a lot of verses that got cut. I would just like to say, yeah.
What?
As you can see, there was a lot of tape that got cut when we made our podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we recorded for 3 hours, and Daniel got the
Yeah.
best parts. Sorry, Gina.
Also, not anybody's fault, but this table is really high.
should
do
we
not feel
should we
inadequate?
get rid of it?
Huh?
Should we get rid of it?
Maybe,
Get
should
rid of
we?
the table and
Should we
just
go in front
hold
of the
it?
table?
I also feel like we can't talk to each other because we're so close.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait.
Let's get rid of this table.
Okay.
Well, I think let's just pull it back a little bit and pull our chairs.
Oh, that's smart.
See how that goes? Uh-huh.
Okay.
Now you can start. Most important.
This is why we're tenure track professors. Well, speaking things into existence. I'm currently on the job market trying to convince a historic Midwestern institution that I'm a tenure track
I'm a
professor.
tenure track professor. Yeah.
Okay, hello. Okay, so my first question is, can you tell us about your friendship? How did you meet? Was it a meet cute?
Our meet cute. You don't think it was a meet cute? It was okay. So I think it's cute. Isn't that the only requirement, that you meet and it's cute?
But I feel like our friendship was really solidified within like a polyamorous friendship situation.
That's true.
You know,
A poly meet cute. A meet cule.
I mean, so the first time I was aware of Franny's existence next to me was at the Coaches Slam at the College National Poetry Slam, and we were seated parallel to one another. And I looked across and I said, "Oh, that's that Franny Choi person. Okay, hope we like beat her team tomorrow." And you know, and that was it. But we really became friends. And then like there was a little bit where like we like just like got booked at the same gigs a lot.
Yeah, like 3 back-to-back things. It
Yeah.
was like, you'll be reading with Danez Smith. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Danez again. I
Yeah.
guess maybe we have something in common that I don't know.
Exactly.
Like,
but you,
it was very matchmaker.
yeah, and then I was like, oh, I think I like this person. And so then, but where our friendship really solidified was in the Dark Noise Collective, which was masterminded by Aaron Samuels and Fatima Oscar. And so in that space, where we were just kind of coming together and like asking ourselves a lot of questions about like what we didn't even like, they kind of just invited everybody to Chicago one weekend to like think what it would be if there was a thing and what that thing could do. And it was a very easy bond over the weekend. I really feel like I knew everybody in varying ways, but nobody like well. And on the other side of that weekend, I really felt like we did something special, and it come into a deeper sense, a community that will continue to grow and flourish. And you know, I love those 5 makers that are now siblings of mine. And then me and Franny, I think our relationship deepened once again hosting Verses. I did a horrible pilot series for the Poetry Foundation that was just me hosting, with like this like.
I love how often you trash talk your podcast.
It sucked. It sucked. It was just me. I didn't know what I was doing. And also because it wasn't free, it was like the Poetry Foundation, I talk about this, they wanted like a young person with a young name and a young energy, but they were like, please do not act like yourself. There was this like one producer who was there at the time, and she was basically like handing me a like list of like, these are the approved questions to ask these people. And so it was just like, oh, you just want like somebody who's like not old to come on and do the same podcast that y'all do over there. And that's why it sucked. I didn't, you know, and then that died. And then I think a year later, they were like, hey, that was stupid what we had you do. Would you like to do it again? What are your asks? And I was like, well, 1, y'all can't be in the room telling us what to do. And 2, I want a partner. And we had just like some like, you know, just like 2 beers in conversations about like podcasts. People should podcast. I would like to podcast. Yeah, but you know, then the morning comes and you never start the podcast that you talked about, right? But then I was like, well, what if we actually did a podcast? And me and you started going to Chicago a lot and talking a lot into microphones with other people, but I couldn't think of a single person that I wanted to just like gab with. You know, I think our podcast for me was one of the great promises of friendship. I think Ross Gay talks about this in his Book of Delights, the deep hang, right? The part of friendship where time kind of feels bottomless, right? Just the people you could kind of just like do everything and nothing with. And you're one of those people for me. And I wanted our podcast to feel like that. And I think it did for a lot of people.
I think it did too, yeah. I also think I remember at that first Dark Noise retreat that I felt like something happened when everybody was giving like an artist talk, like talking about like their work as a way of kind of like introducing ourselves to each other. And I read a poem and I saw you like wipe away a little tear. And then I feel like each time we like made each other cry with their
Oh, yeah.
poems, it's like the bond became like stronger and stronger, you know? So like make your friends cry, you know? And then maybe you'll be best friends with them 10 years later.
You're like a barometer if I'm doing well or not. If I'm
I remember sometimes you would read a poem and then you'd be like, okay, it made Franny cry. It's a good one. It's a keeper.
Exactly. Did you cry today?
Yeah, I
Okay,
did.
good. Okay,
Even though
good.
I've heard those poems so many times, but there's something about hearing them newly in a room that does it for me. I think I saw Gina wipe away a tear, and I was
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I was very verklempt.
yeah. And yeah, there's something about that, and then also like something about like sitting next to Cameron while like watching you together. I don't know. It got me. It got me today. You did good, girl.
Thank you.
Speaking of which, do you have any advice for people about how to create and maintain and nurture friendships with other queer people of color?
Oh. I don't know. It's so simple to me, I think. You like make space in your time for their time. You know? That is the mana of friendship, right? The great glory of it is that your friend is somebody who you love for no other reason than for who they are and for the pleasure of being in their company, which is different than your romantic relationship. It's kind of romantic,
Romantic.
It's definitely romantic.
I think queer friendship specifically is very romantic.
Very romantic,
Yeah,
very romantic.
right?
And I think like
Snap,
me and
All the too close best friends in the audience are like, yes.
no, like me and one of my good queer friends, we decided that like the only thing like your friend should really have over your partner is like your partner should just be like your really good Judy who just like also touches you really nice. You know? And we're like, word, like that totally works. And I think honestly it was very clarifying for my own sense of romantic relationships because now like I have my husband now and it is because like that is my girl, like I like aside from being my man, he's also my girl, and there's something so beautiful about that I don't think I was inviting into, like I used to be in romantic relationships and be like, it's okay that I don't really like this person because they're my partner, right?
I remember that era. It was a very worrying era. I just like to say.
It's like, oh, it's okay that we're not friends because you're not supposed to be my friend. Absolutely, you are.
Yeah. You're like, oh, haha, he's very annoying and I don't like spending time with him, but we might get married. Like, I was like, I don't know, girl.
Right? I mean, bad models, it's just like all I ever saw were people being like, I hate this person,
For
but
sure.
contracts.
Yeah. Like, my wife, am I right?
Yeah.
I think that is actually like a very heterosexual way of like of doing romance and partnership, to be like, I'm stuck with you, like, well, is as opposed to being like, this is my BFF. Who touches me nice. Yeah.
And, like I think in that way, like, I think there's a lot of trial and error in friendship too, sometimes just even by like time, you feel like you're supposed to be with somebody. But the nice part is like, there is no like divorce that you got to go through to like leave a bad friend. It's just like, oh, this person like uses me, or like I feel really bad after we hang out, or, so I think in that way, I think queer friendship, I don't know, I'm also thinking about like time and friendship, like the adult friends. Like I have the only friends of mine from high school or before that still exist are the ones where we have both been porous enough to be malleable enough to change what our relationship is and just to make space for who the other person is becoming and has become, right? That, maybe there is some bit of nostalgia, like, hey, remember when we were 15 together? But like, it also is like, but we're very clearly not 15, and I have to like, 35-year-old you too. And some of those friends I've like been like, okay, cool, yeah, I don't really vibe with 30-year-old you, and like, this is where we part. So I think as long as you're maintaining, I'm trying to couch this now as advice. Be honest when it feels bad and leave when it won't change. And on the other side, like, be open to critique, right? If your friend is telling you something hard about the way you make them feel, or they're telling you something hard about the way they see you treating yourself, that person is invested in you for no other reason than they like witnessed you living one day and said they wanted to be around that more, right? And if you really think they're your friend, if that is a true commitment, then they're not gonna wanna steer you astray, right? So keep that channel and that ear open. And yeah, and just like love into each other. And like, it starts small, you know? Especially when you're younger, like there is so much power in come on over. You know, there's so much power in, you know, having a show to watch together. There's so much power in the time of doing nothing together. And like, you know, like invite them into the parts of living that you already have to do, right? Like I think breaking bread is one of the best things you can do with somebody. It's like, I gotta eat anyway. Would you like to eat side by side? I can make a little bit more. Y'all are in college. If y'all don't have food stamps, get them. Seriously, I had food stamps when I was in college. You can get them shits easy. And now you have all this money. And what I would do with my food stamps is throw dinner parties when I was in college, right? So we would get our food stamps. It was like, you go buy the steaks and you go buy the shrimp and I will buy the good vegetables.
Very
and we
stone
will
soup. Yeah, I love it.
So it was like wonderful little, you know, food stamps paid for potlucks that we would do. And that's how we formed a lot of lifelong friendships.
I will say that I'm also like I think that I'm okay at making friends. I don't think I'm great at making friends, if I'm gonna be honest. No, I don't think I mean I've done pretty good, you know what I mean? But I think that there's a lot of stuff that gets in the way for me, like a lot of insecurity and anxiety, like social anxiety, and I don't know. I chalk it up to being a kid who was like the new kid at school like a few too many times, you know? And I think that I just have to keep telling myself that number one, that life is long and friendships can change, and even people that you like grow apart from for a while can kind of come back into your life. And also just like that thing that you said of like, it doesn't have to be anything kind of special, but just like, let's hang out for a bit together. Just like be on the phone with me, or just be like, watch this movie with me. Come over, watch a devastating horror film with me. 'Tis the season. We watched, what is it called? Hereditary together?
We did?
Yeah.
Okay, I must have blocked that movie out.
It was very difficult. That was a hard year after that, watching that movie,
Yes.
going into dark rooms. Yeah, we're like, oh, what's her name could be at around the corner at any
Toni
time.
Collette.
Yeah, Toni Collette could be anywhere, you know.
Skittering on the ceiling.
Get her on the ceiling. Yeah. But good for friendship.
Yes, yes. So I just have one last question, or I guess it's two questions in one, and you can pick which direction you want to go to. So one is a question about craft and about the impact of friendship on your craft. The other question is a more kind of existential one about the importance of queer of color friendship in our current political moment. So either direction you want to go into.
Okay. Well, in terms of craft, so this is Cam Awkward Rich, and all of us just try to write like him. Quite seriously, I think, you know.
This, by the way,
Yeah.
he hates being singled out.
I know,
Anyway.
but also like me and Sam Sachs and Human Win, I think all had different moments where we all said like, let's all just write like Cameron.
Yeah, that's true.
And then we stole your little slashes to put between sections.
Oh, did that come from Cameron?
Came from Cameron.
Oh, good job, babe.
Yeah. But like aesthetics, but also like, you know, the like heart of the thing too. Yeah, no, I think you let your friends' knowledge lay a hand on yours, right? And also cite them. But you know, I think art is about being an artist. You have to be spongy. You know, you have to be, you know, when you squeeze the sponge, stuff should come out, your creativity, but that sponge should also soak up the creativity and the possibilities of the world around it when you let it go, right? And so making sure that you're surrounded by good folks with good minds makes, you know, when you do that sucking up, you know, oh, it's so wonderful, you know? You know, whether it's Cam, Franny, Angel Nafis, so many friends of mine that I can think about who their making has left such an impression on mine. And even the ways in which friendship means that sometimes you get a like behind the scenes view of the thing, right? That I got to see it as you were making it. or I can read a piece of Franny's work and maybe I know a little bit more biographically about where the poem is coming from. Or, you know, even some of the like thoughts that, you know, helped germinate when the poem happened. And yeah, so I think that is, it's, we're just like doing organically the sort of named thing that happens later in time, right? There's just a bunch of people who are like interested in similar ideas and talking to each other that later become the language poets, right? Or later become the beats or something like that, right? Somebody, sometimes within the group, but often, you know, from outside of it, chooses to name the sort of fungal relationship that they had
I
to
see,
each
like
other.
the movement.
Yeah,
happens,
you know, like this was the New York
friend.
school, right? You know, like it's just like, you know, there's some niggas hanging out,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
and like
yeah,
having
yeah,
thoughts
yeah,
together,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I think that's what makes even sort of the seemingly solitary act of writing a communal one, right? It's like, who were the people you were having those conversations with that sent you back into your craft, right? So yeah,
That's the kind of secret, is that like everyone who is a writer has absorbed lots of other voices. You know, everyone's kind of speaking in chorus.
yeah.
I was also I was also thinking that, like, you know, the queer of color friendship specifically. I mean, these are two, like, queer and of color are like two huge kinds of like coalition. You know, we're like LGBTQIABIPOC people, right? Like, that's a lot of letters. And so there's not that much, you know, like, what is it that holds us together? And then also, but at the same time, queer people of color have always been where I have felt the most at home, even while being like, you know, like the margins of the margins or whatever. But like, this is like, yeah, my people. I find my people here. And I think that there's something like spooky and beautiful about that. That like in the midst of these like enormous kind of the intersection of two enormous like unwieldy categories, that you find the people who are like your most people. I think that there's like lessons that we as queer people of queer poets of color can kind of like take from that. I don't exactly know what it is. I'm kind of like thinking out loud a little bit here, but
I think it's just a thing of like, you know, you look at somebody and it's like, oh, white people think you're weird and your mom thinks you're weird too. My people, you know?
No, absolutely.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, this like double other for sure that like helps us speak to each other, right? I must write an essay about my relationship to queer Asian poets because I find such home in the work in a way that's not even just about biographical details, but just about what you see from your perch in humanity that I feel such a kinship with. And I'm thinking about the current political moment is that we have, as much as we have things that, you know, harmonize and sing together, there is also great learning that happens within these sort of mixed cultural friendships. And when we're thinking about the political moments, the coming of all 89 of the apocalypses that are all rushing towards us, we need each other's strategies for survival. You know, and that's why it's important to be in coalition and in village with one another, because maybe your people know something about surviving that my people do not.
Absolutely.
And also together we are also able to invent and engineer the ways of surviving that maybe we have not thought of yet.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So yeah, I'm a very big believer that there will be no revolution or rupture that we survive without love. And so friendship is, you know, how we practice that, how we put that into the great function, because yeah, we need to love each other and we need to love the earth, or else, or else, period.
I mean, and I think that maybe what I was trying to say earlier is that like that kind of radical solidarity is also a matter of craft, right? Like to perform solidarity and have practice performing solidarity in real life, like on the small scale of friendship and love between your homies, like that is, I think, is matterful when it comes to the work that you do on the page, to look at something that is so alien from you or like different from you or connected to you or not, and to say like, that's my people, or like I'm of that, like our destinies are like entangled with one another. That I think is also like a poetic question. Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Should we start judging people?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we've started, but just kidding, just kidding, just kidding.
Okay, so the costume contest portion of the evening is beginning. The first category is Best Costume Overall. This will be judged by us. So if you would like to be considered for Best Costume Overall, please come to the front. Please come to the stage.
I loved hearing you say that the costume contest will now begin, and I just saw somebody like put on a cowboy hat, which is so great, like so serious. Yes, come
Come to the front. Oh my
yes,
God.
this is really good. Wow. I don't really know where to begin with here. Oh my
Yes.
goodness.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like
wow.
we need to interview people and ask what they are,
Yes.
right?
What,
Or
can
who
you
they
all
are.
tell
Miles,
us
are you
what
not coming?
are?
Oh my
I'm
God.
gonna pass
Thank
the
you.
mic. Will you tell us who you are?
Wait, these are so cute.
Hey, I see things taped to a sweater. You better get down here. Yeah.
People are wearing costumes being like, I just wore, this is just my outfit for today.
There you go.
Are you ready for me?
Yeah. Ooh. All right, we run a tight ship. You're going to tell us about your
I'm a hex girl, and I'm gonna put a spell on you.
Ooh. Okay.
I have a lot of props, so this might be a little difficult. But I'm the lamb from Cult of the Lamb. I also made the Doctrine book, and also the one who waits. If you know the video game, I made a plushie
Video
of him.
game. Okay. Nice. Thank you.
I'm Steve from Blue's Clues.
Nice.
Yes.
Except gay, because, like, obviously I have a carabiner. And also, the carabiner says therabiner. So, because my pronouns are they, them. So, yeah, I'm gay, trans Steve.
I am Miles Morales.
I'm the very hungry caterpillar, and I made all the elements myself at the DTI.
Ooh.
I'm Missy from Doctor Who, which if you haven't seen is just evil Mary Poppins.
Evil Mary Poppins.
Okay, we're a duo costume. We are
Charlie XCX.
and the Dare. Wait, show them. We also have. Wait, show the cigarette. Oh, yeah. We have a felt cigarette. Is it a prop?
I am a trad wife, which you can see on my spoon. And if you vote for me, I'm gonna bake you a fresh bread. Loaf of bread, yes.
Hi, I'm Maybell from Gravity Falls. And this pet pig I found in the free bin 2 years ago, so.
I'm Joe March, and I can't talk because I'm busy writing Little Women.
Thank you, contestants. We'll take this. Thank you. We must converse with ourselves. In the meantime, let's give you something to chew on. A poem that you would read to somebody else if you wanted them to be your friend. Discuss. So we can point and... Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Silence. A Powerpuff silence, please.
Quiet coyote, quiet coyote.
We have
quiet
decided our winner. And then Next, it will be your chance to decide the winner because from everybody left, we will do the People's Choice Award, chosen by applause. So, drum roll, please. The winner is...
The Very Hungry Caterpillar! All elements made by the costumer.
Yes, everyone looks fantastic.
Everyone looks amazing.
Everyone looks amazing.
This is the most competition we've ever had at this annual event.
Now annual event.
Okay, so people who want to be considered for the People's Choice Award, let's come on stage so the people can see your look.
Ooh.
Okay?
I can do hand.
And now, okay, come up. People's Choice Award. Yes. Yes.
They didn't want to for some reason. I don't know.
Okay. So you are going to judge this based on applause. Okay? So every time we have bubbles will indicate the person by the hand, and we want to hear your applause. Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Okay.
All right.
We have
Ready?
Frog and Toad.
And remember, you can't just cheer the same for everybody, so be biased. Okay? All right. This is a group costume, right? So.
I feel like we should have ended with that. Okay. That's pretty good. Okay, nice. Okay, also pretty good. Oh, I love still writing. I feel like the tops were
Hold
Frog
up.
and Toad.
What we got? I'm sorry, my dears. It's not your time. Thank you. I'm sorry, my dear. It's not your time. I'm sorry, my dear. It's not your time. All right. Thank you to our semifinalists. Give them a round of applause as they leave. Okay. I think this is the finalists. Okay, let's try this again. My skirt is falling.
Danez.
Huh?
Start on this end.
Sorry, on this side. Oh, let's go the other way. It's changing it up. All right. One more time. Be biased.
I think we've got a winner.
Frog and Toad, congratulations. Frog and Toad had a very good day today.
Okay.
Can we please have a round of applause for all of our contestants who were fantastic?
Thank you all.
To do our third category.
We have a third category.
The third
for
category.
second best group costume.
Yeah, because we're the best, obviously. Duh.
Duh.
So, who wants to be considered for second best group costume?
Yeah. You can come back up. I know. Up and down. Oh, we have a. Oh.
So we have
a new
Charlie
challenger.
XCX and The Dare. Is that her producer? Her DJ. Thank you for teaching me. Huh? He makes music too. Okay, but it wasn't his summer. It was Brat's. Okay.
Yes.
Got it. All right, and then you two would be an epic poem. And then
I'm a dragon.
you're a dragon
And I'm
within
the
the epic,
knight.
and you're
Yes.
the knight in the epic poem.
Nice,
Okay.
nice.
And then you two are
We're Josie and Isabel from Bottoms.
Josie and Isabel from Bottoms. Yes, I see it.
I see it.
All right.
Okay.
We're gonna confer.
This is. want to announce them? Okay. All right, we have conferred. One, we want to thank you for coming in group costumes in the spirit of this reading and this competition tonight.
Give it up for friendship.
Also, what you're receiving is one gift card to Familiars. So please, and also a book, but please split the one gift card amongst you and don't fuck up tonight. All right? Still be friends tomorrow. Or if you don't like each other after tonight, you can go over to Familiars and work it out, okay? Is it Familiars?
Familiars, yes.
Witchy, this little town, Massachusetts, I tell you. All right. The winners of the second best group costume are Charlie XCX in the day! We would like to thank the epic poem and the epic poem that is Bottoms for both of your participations. Thank you.
Also, thank you for those of you for telling us who the dare is so we can know.
Well, that's it. Go have a happy Halloween. Be safe. There's books in the back. I'm sure we would both be down to sign them if you would like them signed. Make smart choices. Look out for your friends tonight. Don't lose your phone. Have a good night. Thank you.
Happy Halloween. Thanks, guys.
Happy Halloween.
Friendship. No,